So yes, motors need fixing. I thought I'd put together a quick video explaining a load of things I've discovered, especially over the last 6 months, 9 months of riding nearly every e-bike motor out there. Okay, the first thing that needs to happen is we need to ditch all of the apps, all of the modifications, all of the adjustments that you should be able to do on a motor. So changing the motor response time, changing support level, modifying the modes that you need in operation, doing all of those app related tasks should be done on the bike. Let's get rid of the apps, especially because we're riding bicycles. At the end of the day, these bikes should be bicycles and we should be able to ride them in 20 years. We shouldn't be riding a giant pile of e-waste, which we have to chuck in 5 years because nothing works anymore. The apps don't work, the software is incompatible. Everything needs to be on the bike. No apps required. Now there are a couple of brands that already do that. Specialized is one. You can just have it so that you use micro adjust to get the full power mode in steps of 10, and also DJI with their Avinox motor, you can make all the adjustments on the touch screen. Most of the bikes have now big screens, and I think you might as well have all of the options from the apps on the bike. You can use the remote, you could probably use a touch screen. There's many ways of doing it, but do that and you've got a product that is pretty future-proof. Don't do that and you've got a bike which at some point you're not going to be able to access the systems to control it because the apps won't work and the phones won't work. Nothing will work with it. So I don't know how long that will be. Is it 5 years? Is it 10 years? Is it 20 years? Who knows? But there's definitely the potential here for a huge pile of e-waste. Don't forget this video is supported by Liat. Here I've got the Gravity 6 helmet. This is one of my favorite helmets. I wear it all the time, especially if I'm riding aggressively and I'm not training. It's fantastically light, great in all kinds of weather, very well ventilated. One of the top level standards of safety on the market. Anyway, back to the video. Okay, number 2, still software related. You should not need an app to switch on the bike. So I've just discovered DJI, sorry DJI, but what the were you doing when you thought about this one? You're trying to copy your digital cameras? That's ridiculous. You should not need an app to switch on the bike. If you go into a shop and you buy a product, it is yours. There is no requirement necessary, or should be no requirement necessary, to have to put your name, address, and all of those details into an app to use it. There's no excuse. It's absolutely anti-consumer. It should not be happening. Lewis Rossman with his Consumer Wiki is an advocate for consumer rights, especially regarding electronics, repairability and things like that. He's a very large YouTuber. He's also a repair technician. He goes into great detail on these kinds of points and problems to do with all kinds of domestic electrical products. There should be no apps required, especially to switch it on, because fundamentally, if you have to do that, you don't own your bike. You buy it and you don't own it. So that can be fixed with a software update. So please, DJI, fix it. Right, let's do this one now. Power rules, which classify e-bikes as bikes, simply need to change. Right now, we have a complete global show going on. You have no idea what the actual power support level is on the bike and in the country you're in. If I report on a bike here in Europe, my report on the power levels and how it operates might only be relevant to Europe. It might not be relevant to other countries. And you have people, for example, in New Zealand who are essentially riding around on motorbikes because there's no speed limit, there's nothing, you can just ride it. So anything I say here probably is irrelevant for there. Got a completely differently classed type of vehicle. So I do think it's super important to have the power levels globally uniform. Otherwise we're not riding bicycles at that point. We're riding whatever motor vehicle it happens to be classed as in the country you're in. 50 kilometers an hour on their e-bike, no problem. And you have other people in other countries or other states, in say in America, where you have absolutely no right to go on any trail because it's motorized. We cannot have this mess on the market. It has to be clear. We need some uniformity to the rules. If you want a motorbike and you want it to be unlimited, that's no problem. Just make sure that you do that on the right trail use area. So if you've got a motocross track or you've got some kind of off-road track which you're allowed on, then great, go do it there. But with this interaction between public interest and safety, i.e. pedestrians, is the main argument that people use. Like if you're in a pedestrian area with a bicycle, that's okay, and you're going to ride attentively. But if you've got an e-bike which has got no particular controls over the speed limit particularly, which is always a hot topic, total chaos. You need to make sure, keep it classed as a bicycle. It needs to be, so you can ride around pedestrians, it needs to be a bicycle. Okay, simplification. Recently I bought a non-e-bike and I've been riding it around, and it's been a joyous experience, partly because there's no electrical problems, no rattles, no grinding noises, nothing going wrong. It's just a simple bicycle. As we are right now, we have problems with battery mounts, and the batteries rattle and then they disconnect because they're not held tightly in place because there's a design fault. You have cable runs which go up and down the down tube or through the top tube, and you can't get them through easily, and the cable stops working, the plugs stop working. There's all kinds of problems I found recently on different motor systems. So there's not one particular system, they all have these issues. You know, I mean, I have now come across e-bikes from 2018 where you cannot find the cables any longer for the remotes. There are no solutions. Break that cable remote, then you're done. You can't get a new one. I mean, it's done. It's a piece of e-waste at that point. Some kind of simplification. The systems are uniform, so the cable connections are uniform, a bit like USB-C. In fact, why don't we have USB-C plugging everything together? That would make life easier. So I honestly feel a huge sense of relief picking up a non-e-bike and going for a ride, because at least I know if there's something wrong with it, it's mechanical and I can fix it at home, and that's the most important thing. I can fix it at home. This brings me on to repairability. It's a bicycle, so we should be able to fix it at home. Or by the side of the road or in the back of the car. We should not need a software key, a laptop, or whatever it happens to be to log into the bike to figure out what's wrong. Then I have to go and spend 50 or 100 euros an hour just for somebody to have a look at my bike and tell me what's wrong with it. There are companies out there that do give you the ability to open the motors up and fix them once they're outside of warranty, and I think that needs to continue, because right now what we've got now is, in my opinion, not bicycling. It's something else. I learned at the age of 10 or 11 to fix my bicycle. Right now I can't do that with an e-bike. So influencers, right, this is a favorite subject of mine at the moment. I've been watching the press, especially over the last year and a half, to do with all the hype connected with different products, and what really annoys me that people don't know about, or the general consumer or the viewer doesn't seem to know about, is a lot of these influencers have been working with the bike company or the motor company before the product was launched, and I'm talking for a year or so beforehand. And then they've got the product in their hand, they're on video then pretending that they've never seen it before, and then reviewing it. I mean, it's absurd, it's ridiculous. I have no problem with advertising. I have no problem with brand association. Obviously, I've been working in this business for a long time, but at the same time, you've got to be transparent. If you look at Quarter HP, which is a brand new channel that I've noticed, some ex-guys from Pink Bike, they've just gone online, they've just put up this channel where they are very clear that they will have no frame sponsorships, nothing at all, only parts, and they have a channel supported by parts, so they can actually review products properly without causing confusion to the end consumer, and I think that's fundamental. If you have a brand association, that's no problem. Just make sure you're transparent about it. Make sure that you say in your video out loud, not written in the description below somewhere else, or say in your video that this video is supported by, because that makes transparency for the consumer. It means they will understand your point of view in a much more clearer way, and everybody will feel a lot happier about the content. This is something that already happens in the tech industry. I don't see why it shouldn't be happening in the bicycle industry. I think the brands will benefit, and also the end consumer will benefit, and also the influencer or the journalist will benefit as well. Enough of this hiding who's paying and who's supporting who, because I don't think that's healthy. I think that's the end of my list of things that I think need to change for the moment. I'll come up with another one soon. Leave your thoughts below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye, everybody.